Police headquarters. Just a minute, I'll give you the Detective Bureau.
Detective Bureau, Lieutenant Gray.
Lieutenant, this is Mike O'Rourke.
What's up, Mike?
Jewel robbery, Lieutenant. Broad daylight, too.
Where'd it happen?
On my beat, 6th and Main. A guy in a taxi drove up alongside a couple of women and lifted their sparklers.
What'd they get?
3 or 4 rings and a diamond necklace. Mrs. Mansfield, the dame that owned the necklace, says it's worth $80,000.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that Mrs. Lester Mansfield?
Yeah.
I've heard of that necklace before. Where are you now?
Call box, 6th and Main. The women are here, too. One of them fainted. We got her in the drugstore.
Okay. Sit tight. I'll be right over.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Have Captain Watson send somebody to relieve Patrolman O'Rourke, 6th and Main.
Yes, sir.
And send out a radio pickup on a phony taxi cab. Somebody just lifted the Mansfield necklace.
Yes, sir.
Where are the women, Mike?
In the drugstore, Lieutenant. The doctor's looking after Mrs. Smith. She's carrying on something awful.
Is Mrs. Mansfield in there, too?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll see if I can get a description from her. Get this crowd to moving, then come inside. Captain Watson sending a man to relieve you.
Yes, sir. All right.
Oh, Lieutenant, I'm so glad you're here. It was dreadful. He drove up alongside...
Just a minute, ma'am. You're Mrs. Mansfield?
Yes, Lieutenant.
How's the other lady?
Very excited. Mrs. Smith isn't a very strong woman, Lieutenant. And when that man...
Just sit down here, Mrs. Mansfield. Let's get the whole story.
Oh, you're so cool and brave, Lieutenant. I just know you'll find my necklace, won't
well,
you?
if it's possible, ma'am. What happened?
Mrs. Smith and I... she's the wife of Horatio Smith, you know. We were just coming back from the Service League charities. I was driving my roadster down 6th Street when a taxi pulled up alongside and forced me to the curb.
Just a minute, ma'am. What kind of a taxi?
Oh, just the regular kind. You know, the 2 colored ones.
I see. Go ahead.
A man jumped out and said he was sorry that his steering gear had broken. He came around to our side of the car, and then I saw he had a gun. He took our jewels, got back into the taxi, and left. Oh, it all happened so quickly that I didn't know what to make of it for a minute.
Mrs. Mansfield, sit down, Mike, and get this description.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Mansfield, can you tell us what this man looked like?
Well, not very well. He was smaller than you, Lieutenant, rather dark, and wore a blue serted suit.
Was he wearing a hat?
No, it was a cap, I believe.
Did you see the color of his hair?
No, not that I remember. Oh, but I noticed a scar on his right cheek. I saw it as he reached for my purse.
A scar, eh? That's good. Is this the purse?
Yes. He opened it and took the money that was inside and threw it back into the car.
We'll want to borrow this for a while, Mrs. Mansfield, to see if we can find any prints on it. They'd show up nicely on that patent leather.
Oh, surely, Lieutenant. Oh, I do hope you'll find my necklace. Lester will be so angry because I wore it today. You see, he asked me not to.
He was probably more worried about your welfare than the necklace. Well, we'll do what we can, ma'am. You'll be at home if we want you?
Yes.
All right. We'll call you if anything turns up. Come on, Mike. Let's take this bag to the Fingerprint Bureau.
Yes, sir. Well, what did he say, Lieutenant?
Powers identified the prints as belonging to Antonio Moretti, with a record of 2 terms in state prison. Let's see that file a minute. J-L-M... Moretti. Yeah, here it is. Age 31. See that picture?
Yeah. That's the same guy that Mrs. Mansfield described. Scar and everything.
Yeah, we'll have him in 20 minutes. Hello, Tim. Send out a pickup on Antonio Moretti and have the desk issue a warrant for first-degree robbery. You'll find all the dope in the files. I want him inside of 24 hours. Right.
You want me to go back on my beat now, Lieutenant?
Yeah, you might as well, Mike. Oh, wait a minute. Hello? Oh, good. Send him in. Just a minute. There's something new on the case.
Moretti?
Not yet. A taxi driver just came in to report losing his cab. It may be the same one Moretti used. Come in. Oh, sit down. What's your name?
Pete Carson. I drive for...
Yes, I know. Somebody stole your cab. Tell me about it.
Well, I was at my station over in Cambridge when I get a call to a rooming house on Garfield.
Wait a minute. Remember the address?
No, but I could find the house.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I drove over there, and this guy gets in and tells me to drive him to the medical arts building downtown. I drove 3 or 4 blocks, and suddenly I feel the gun in the back of my neck and the guy telling me to step out.
What did you do?
Oh, I stepped out.
And the guy drove off, eh?
Yes, sir?
Oh, Mike,
Yes, sir?
show this fellow the picture of Tony Moretti.
Yes, sir. Right here, Lieutenant.
There. Is that the guy?
Say, that's him, all right. I'd remember him by that scar on his face.
Okay. My car's downstairs. You're going to direct us to that rooming house on Garfield. Come on, Mike. Maybe this won't be such a tough job after all. This it?
Yep, same house.
Okay, you stay in the car. Come on, Mike.
It's just the kind of a place you'd expect Moretti to hang out in. I'll bet you can get a room here for $1 a week.
Someone's coming to the door. We're officers. Does Antonio Moretti live here?
Land sakes alive, you scared me, officer. Sure there's no Mr. Moretti living here, sir. I run a nice, clean place, sir. We don't have no lawbreakers living here.
Show her the picture, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Here. Ever see this man before?
Wait, it looks just like Mr. Williams, sir, because it does. Calls himself Mr. Joe Williams. Yeah,
Is he in?
Sure, and I don't know. He's in 112 if he is, sir.
Come on, Mike. And lift your gun strap.
Yes,
You
sir.
ain't gonna have no shooting in here, are you? Now, you look here.
You
I
stay
don't
back
want
here.
nobody-
We'll find the room.
I never seen the likes of it. Always around.
112. Here it is, Lieutenant.
All right. If it's locked, kick it in. I'll cover you.
Nobody home. Looks like we beat him here. His clothes are still hanging around the room. And there's a package of cigarettes.
Oh, I tell you, it's a sorry day that I ever let that young man in here.
I thought I told you to stay back there.
That's right, you did, sir. But I just remembered something that I think to myself you should know.
What's that?
Well, last night after I'd gone to bed, there comes a man here asking for this Mr. Williams. Sure, I goes back and look, and Mr. Williams ain't in. So the fella asks if I got another room.
What did you tell him?
Sure, I told him yes, and give him a room on the second floor.
Is he up there now?
No, that's just what I'm trying to tell you, sir. He left this morning after paying me my 50 cents for my room.
Say where he was going?
Yes, sir. He tells me it's how he was going to the depot, sir, leaving town.
What did this fellow look like?
Well, sir, I got a pretty good look at him and see as how he was a red-faced man, almost as big as yourself, with funny, watery kind of eyes, and walked with a limp.
Bull Alexander.
It sure fits him, sir.
And he said he was going to the depot, eh? How long ago was this?
Just an hour ago, sir.
Quick, Mike, out to the car.
Yes, sir.
I've got a hunch that Tony Moretti had Bull in on the job with him to get the necklace out of town. We've got to beat him to that train. Train leaving on track 5 for the west. Come on, Mike.
I'm right behind you, Lieutenant.
Here, let's duck through this gate. We're officers. Oh, there it is, Mike. It'll be leaving in a couple of minutes.
Let's try the Pullman coaches first. The guy will probably want privacy.
All right, swing up here. We're officers, Porter. Is there a large, red-faced man with bleary eyes on this train?
You all mean a man in car 4?
I don't know. We'll see. Come on, Mike. Yeah, this is the car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Huh. Oh. Hello, Bull. You leaving town?
You dicks ain't got nothing on me. I'm just going to win a little business trip, that's all. Just because you had a guy in stir once, don't mean that you can hound him the rest of his life.
No. Stand up, Bull. We're searching you for the Mansfield necklace.
Yeah? I'll search ahead. I ain't got it.
All right, Mike. Look through his bags.
Yeah.
I'll take Bull into the washroom here and see what he's wearing. What did you find?
Nothing. Ain't in any of the bags, Lieutenant.
Yeah, that's funny. It wasn't on him either.
I'm telling you got me all wrong, Lieutenant. I didn't even know this Tony Moretti or Joe Williams. I'm going to win a little trip to see my sister.
Yeah. It was a business trip before, Bull.
Want to take him down, sir?
No, we couldn't hold him. We haven't got a thing on him. He'd be out before morning.
You're doing me wrong, Lieutenant. I wasn't mixed up in no jewel robbery. Crime don't pay, I know that.
Don't make me laugh, you red-faced baboon. We'll have you back on the calendar in 6 months.
Cigars, cigarettes, sandwiches, cold drinks.
Here, I'll show you I'm on the level, Lieutenant. I'll buy you a cold drink. Here, boy.
No thanks, Bull. I'm particular who I drink with.
Well, I ain't as bad as that, Lieutenant. Here, I'll have a sandwich. Give the gentleman a cold drink, boy.
No thanks. Don't bother. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't take you in, Bull. The train's leaving, so I guess we'll have to get off. But if you're smart, you'll stay at your sister's from now on. Come on, Mike.
Yes, sir. That's a tough break, Lieutenant. I'm not sure we got the pin of the goods.
Duck down here.
Oh, what's up?
Don't ask questions. Duck down. But the train's moving. That's all right. We're going back inside the car.
All right, Bull. Put him up.
Hey, what?
No, you don't. Put him up. Get in that right-hand coat pocket, Mike.
Yeah.
There, that's it.
Holy smoke. The necklace. And the rings, too.
Yeah. He didn't get away with them after all.
Oh, but they wasn't there when we frisked him.
Right, Mike. He didn't have them when we searched him.
Then how did he get them?
Right under our nose. They were slipped to him in a sandwich.
What?
That sandwich man is Tony Moretti, and he's getting off the train now. Grab it.
Police headquarters. Okay, Lieutenant. Hello, Tim. Have a car pick Lieutenant Gray up at Pleasantown. He's holding 2 prisoners in the Mansfield jewels. Headquarters? Just a minute, I'll connect you to the homicide.
Homicide detail, Sergeant Burke.
This is the residence of Mr. Jacob Millard. Mr. Millard's butler speaking. Mr. Millard had just been found dead, sir.
What's your name?
John Prentice, sir.
Who found him?
I did, sir. I was just taking him his breakfast.
Anyone else in the house?
No, sir.
All right, just leave everything like it is until we get there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant?
Dr. Wade in his office?
I think so, Sergeant.
Good. Have him get his tool chest and meet me at the front door.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Plenty. Somebody just bumped Jake Millard. Sorry I had to rush out so early, Doc, but I don't commit these early morning murders. I just follow them up.
That's all right, Sergeant. I think I'll enjoy a little motor trip into the country. Who's the victim?
A retired gangster by the name of Millard. Jake Millard.
I seem to remember that name in the papers. Retired, you say?
Well, yes and no. You see, Jake used to be associated with Pete Jonigan, the racketeer who controls the trucking and shipping business on the east side.
I remember him.
Yeah. Well, Jonigan's racket is protecting the trucking people from his own mob, if you get what I mean. Millard split with him and went into the protection business from the other angle. He was protecting the truckers from Jonigan's mob at a much lower figure.
I see. A sort of a double cross, eh, Sergeant?
Yeah. And now it seems somebody sort of triple-crossed Jake Millard by bumping him off.
And good riddance, if you ask me.
That's what I say, Doc, but the old man don't see it that way. Whenever a gangster's rubbed out, we're supposed to work just as hard to get his murderer as we would if he was a banker or a lawyer.
What one might call the injustice of justice, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. This the place?
Yeah. Millard lived here all alone. That is, with his butler.
Well, a gangster with a butler. Interesting.
You can bet he's sort of a bodyguard as well.
Did the butler say how Millard was killed?
No, that's why I brought you along, Doc, so I wouldn't have to take this bird's word for it.
Oh, come in, sir.
Your apprentice?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Wade.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Where's the body?
Upstairs, sir.
What time did you find him?
Just before I called you, sir. About 8:30.
What time did Millard come in last night?
Shortly after midnight, sir.
How do you know?
I was with him.
Did he take you with him every time he went out?
Most generally, sir. Oh, upon my word, sir.
Just what I thought. You're packing a rod.
Well, I have a permit for that, sir. A sort of precaution against highwaymen, sir.
That's a good one. I'll just keep this rod for a while.
Oh, certainly, sir. Oh, here's Mr. Millard's room.
Run up the shades.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there he is, Doc, laying on the bed. Shouldn't be a hard job to find out what killed him.
Not with that knife sticking out of his chest. Mind if I remove it?
No. Here's a handkerchief. Save the prints.
Oh, all right. Yeah, must have nearly penetrated the body. Our victim died without a struggle.
Through the heart?
Clean.
This doesn't seem to affect you very much, Prentice.
No, I was in the war, sir.
Which war? The one last night with Pete Jonigan's mob down at the docks?
Oh, no, sir.
Where were you and Millard last night? Where were you and Millard last night?
Attending a concert, sir.
Yeah? Which one?
Oh, the Philharmonic. Schubert Symphony in B minor. The unfinished one, sir.
Don't make me laugh. Got any idea who killed him?
No, sir.
How long's he been dead, Doc?
I was just testing the state of rigor mortis in anticipation of your question, Sergeant. It's in a rather well-advanced state. I should say about 6 or 7 hours.
It's 9 o'clock now. That'll make it about 2 or 3 this morning?
A fairly accurate hour, Sergeant.
What'd you find?
A very astonishing thing, Sergeant. Jake Millard was killed twice last night.
Killed? Well, what do you mean?
Jake Millard was killed twice last night. Once with a knife and once with a gun.
Go on.
I'm serious. There's a bullet wound in the head. Here, see?
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Once with a knife and once with a gun. Huh. Tell me, Doc, who won?
The man with the knife.
How do you know?
The character of the gunshot wound shows very clearly that it was inflicted 1 or perhaps 2 hours after death.
Now we're in a fine fix. We've got to look for 2 murderers instead of 1. What do you think happened here last night, Doc?
I think it's fairly simple. 2 people set out to get Millard last night. One of these men gained access to this room by that trellis outside the window there.
Go ahead, Doc. You're doing great.
He tiptoed across the room and plunged a knife through Millard's heart, then left the way he'd entered. Death was instantaneous.
And?
About an hour later, murderer number 2 reaches the scene. He climbs the same trellis with the same murderous intent in his heart. But instead of entering the room, he takes a careful aim at his victim with a silenced revolver, never noticing the knife. After the shot, he slips away unnoticed, thinking he has accomplished his mission.
The way you put it, Doc, Jake Millard was one popular guy a few hours ago.
Yes, Sergeant. Somewhere in this town are two highly satisfied men. Each thinks that he killed Jake Millard. You know, Sergeant, one of those men is going to be very, very disappointed. Well, you've been working all day on the case, Sergeant. What did you find?
Nothing. That is, nothing except the gun. Powers just gave me a report on it.
Yes?
We found a fingerprint in the barrel, and Powers traced it to a dopey little hood known as Wheezy Lane.
Well, I should say that your day hadn't been wasted, Sergeant. And this fellow Lane.
And boys picked him up just about 15 minutes ago. They're bringing him up here now for questioning.
Well, don't be disheartened, Sergeant. You have an arrest.
Yeah, but he ain't the right one. You said the guy with the knife killed him.
That's right.
Well, then we ain't got nothing against this guy. You can't kill a man twice.
I wouldn't be too sure, Sergeant.
Hello? Send him in.
What now?
The boys are bringing Wheezy in.
Yeah. What's the hose for, Sergeant?
Little persuader. I told Wheezy Lane that the next time I got him in this office, I'd whale the tar out of him.
Oh, and do you mean to carry out your threat?
No, but Wheezy will think so. Time I slap a chair a few times close to his head with this hose, he'll talk. And talk fast. All right, boys, bring him in.
You ain't got nothing on me, Sarge. You ain't got nothing on me. I was just hanging out in Joe's pool parlor when this carload of dicks pounds on me. They won't even tell me what I'm picked up for.
Well, ain't that too bad? Sit down, you yellow-livered shrimp. Sit down before I slap you to sleep with this hose.
You got me wrong,
Shut up.
Sarge.
Where were you last night?
In Joe's.
That's a lie.
All right, ask him.
I don't need to. I know you got him fixed. Now listen, Wheezy. I'm giving you one chance, and then I'll start working you over. Jake Millard was killed last night.
So what? I didn't do it.
Sure. I know you didn't. Finding your gun with your fingerprints on it just below Jake Millard's bedroom window don't mean a thing, does it?
You can't pin that on me. I lost the guess.
Yeah, you did. Are you gonna talk, Wheezy?
I ain't got nothing to say.
All right.
Don't hit me with that thing, Sarge.
The next time I'll split your head open. Are you gonna talk?
I ain't got... Don't, Sarge. Don't hit me.
You yellow rat, I'll break your neck.
Just a minute, Sergeant. I'm the police surgeon, Wheezy. I made the autopsy on Millard's body, and I found out that you didn't kill him.
That's what I've been telling this big flat...
Wait a minute now. I said you didn't kill him. I know that you thought you did, but you didn't. Somebody with a knife beat you to it.
What are you talking about?
You don't have to act innocent, Wheezy. Millard was already dead when you shot him. Therefore, you didn't kill him, see?
Oh, it's a frame.
No, it isn't. I'm giving you the straight goods, Wheezy. We haven't got a thing on you. That is, if you tell us who did kill him.
I don't know.
And if you don't talk, Wheezy, I'll just forget about the stab wound in my report, and the sergeant here will bring a charge against you for the bullet wound. With your print on the revolver, well, I wouldn't like to be in your shoes.
You're telling me straight, Doc?
I'm telling you that you didn't kill Jake Millard.
Well, all right. I'll talk.
Good. Who knifed him?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, you see, it's this way, Doc. Jake Millard has been butting into Pete Jarnigan's racket. I work for Pete, doing secretary work.
I see.
Well, Pete calls all the boys, 5 of us, into his office yesterday afternoon and says that this stuff of Jake Millard butting into our racket has got to stop. He ends up by offering us $10,000 to the first guy to put Millard out of the way.
So you all went after him, eh?
Yeah, and I don't know which one of the boys got it.
I see. Well, Wheezy, you can go.
I can go? Oh, gee, that's swell of you, Doc.
Say, what's the big idea?
Sure, Wheezy can go, Sergeant. Except first, there's something he's got to do for us.
Come in.
Oh, hello, Wheezy. She was sorry to hear about your accident.
Yeah.
As soon as we hear, the nurse telephoned us, so we come right over. Oh, here's Pete and the boys.
Yeah. Hello, Wheezy. What happened, Wheezy?
I was stepping off a curb over on Central when a truck smacked me. I woke up here in the hospital.
Gee, guy, that's too bad. What's the matter with you, huh?
Broken leg and a fractured right arm. Doc says I'll be here for 6 weeks.
Gee, that's tough.
Yeah, it's going to cost me a wad of dough, too. That 10 grand you offered us for killing Jake Millard will come in handy to pay hospital expenses.
Go easy on that around here. You didn't kill Millard.
What do you mean?
Ain't you seen the papers? Max here stuck a knife in him about an hour before you shot him.
What are you talking about?
Sure, that's the straight dope, Wheezy. Pete paid me the 10,000 this afternoon. I killed Millard.
That's all I wanted to know. Put him up, all of you.
What's that?
No need to look at that door, Pete. There's a dozen men outside. I got a court reporter here, too, taking down every word that was said. Yeah, I guess you're all in a jam, every one of you.
Something me, Sergeant. You know what you said. If I'd lead these guys into the Doc's little trap, you wouldn't bring a charge against me.
Well, I must have been wrong about that, Wheezy. I've been reading the law book since I seen you, and I find out I got to take you in, too.
Yeah? What's the charge? I didn't kill... What's the charge? I didn't kill Jake, you know.
That's a new one on me, Wheezy. Mutilating a corpse.
Police headquarters. Okay, Sergeant. Hello, Tim. Send the patrol to Providence Hospital. Sergeant Burke just got Pete Jonigan's whole mob for that Millard killing. Police headquarters. Police headquarters. Just a minute, I'll give you the desk, Sergeant.
Police station. Sergeant Coombs.
Hello, this is the Industrial Ironworks. Hargood speaking.
Yes, Mr. Hogwood.
We're ready for our payroll escort. I'm at the bank now.
All right. That's the Second National, isn't it?
Yes. I'll wait until your men arrive.
All right, sir. We'll get right on it.
Thanks.
Radio.
Send car 55 to the Second National Bank to escort a payroll master to the Industrial Ironworks.
Yes, sir. Calling car 55. Car 55. Broadcast 81. Proceed to the Second National Bank. A YR call.
Hey, that's us.
Yeah. YR. That's an escort call, isn't it?
Yeah, probably the Industrial Ironworks. They pay off twice a month.
Much dough?
Oh, about 40,000. Perkins and I used to escort it all the time. That is, before he got canned.
That's a lot of dough.
Yeah, they used to pack it alone, but they lost the whole caboodle about 6 months ago. Some yegg forced their paymaster to the curb and took it with him. All Hargood had left was a bump on his head.
Hargood?
Yeah, he's the paymaster. Good Scott. That is, as far as I know. We're to meet him at the bank.
Well, all I can say is, I wouldn't want to pack $40,000 around with me, unless I had a couple of Tommy guns on each side. No, sir. Not in these times.
Well, here we are. You stay in the car. I'll duck in and meet Hargood. Oh, here he is. He's waiting for us. Hello, Mr. Hargood. Keep you waiting?
Well, not long. A couple of minutes or so.
Meet my new partner, Officer Adams.
Oh, pleased to meet you, Adams. Where's Perkins?
I don't know. The department let him go for some reason. Well, hop in. We'll deliver you to the foundry.
Intact?
Well, I hope so. Well, here we are. Want me to go in with you?
Oh, it's not necessary, but perhaps you'd better. The old man's very fussy about the payroll since I lost that bag last year. We'd carry it in an armored tank if he had his way.
Well, I don't blame him much. 40,000's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's 50,000 today. Some special bonuses.
Someday I'm going to knock you over myself. Stay in the car, Joe, and I'll take Hargood inside.
Right.
No, Mr. Hargood, I was reading our
Hey, officer, there's a fight around the corner. A couple of fruit peddlers are whaling the stuffings out of each other. You better break them up.
I'll be around there in a minute.
Oh, you better come right now. It's a real fight.
I said I'd be around there in a minute. I'm waiting for my partner.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
There, that'll hold you, you smart copper.
Joe! Joe, he's heading your way with the payroll. Let him off. Hey, Joe, where are you? Starting. He's got the payroll. Hey, Joe! Holy smoke. He's been beamed. That's all there is to tell, Chief. Just as Hargood and I reached the alley, this guy steps out and slugs me. As I fell, I saw him strike Hargood, and the next thing I knew, he was gone. He didn't quite knock me out, and as soon as I had my head cleared, I took a couple of shots at him as he ran toward the car where Joe was.
I see.
He was too far away to hit, so I yelled at Joe to head him off. I couldn't see Joe anywhere, so I beat it to the car and found him laying on the seat cold as a cucumber.
Yeah. The fellow gave me the sap before he lifted the payroll.
Did you see the man?
Not very good, sir. He came running up to the car, telling me there was a fight around the corner. And when I refused to get out, he shot me.
He sure had it all figured out, Chief, and it worked out just like he planned it.
Why were you and the paymaster going in the back way? Don't you usually go in the front office?
Yes, sir, but I was just following Hargood. I guess he had some reason for going in that way.
Well, it's done. I don't mind telling you, boys, that you'll have some explaining to do when the civil service meets again. You were assigned to protect that payroll, and you failed, both of you. Well, I'll do what I can for you, but I don't mind saying that you're both in the spot.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Thank you, sir. I knew the old boy would be hot under the collar about it.
Yeah. What do you think they'll do?
Can't ever tell. They may overlook it, and again, they may bounce us. What are you doing this afternoon?
Oh, nothing. Why?
Well, we got ourselves into this mess, so I suppose it's up to us to get ourselves out.
What do you mean?
I mean, if we wait for the dicks to run this thing down, we'll be warming park benches. I got a hunch, and we're going to follow it up. Come on.
Where are you going?
To talk to Mrs. Hargood.
Well, that's all I know about it, just what Henry told me.
Oh, I wish he'd give up that job. He was hurt about 6 months ago, and then yesterday. Oh, I know he'll be killed someday if he carries that money around all the time.
No, I wouldn't worry, Mrs. Hargood. Well, thanks. This your car out in front?
Yes, Henry bought it about 3 months ago.
Sure a beauty. I'll bet it set him back a pretty penny.
He didn't tell me what it cost him, but I know it was very expensive. His brother called him a fool for buying it.
Yeah, they don't give away cars like that. Well, goodbye. We'll be seeing you.
Yes, thanks for calling, officer.
Well, what do you make of it, Wiley?
I don't know for sure, but I've a pretty good idea that this thing was an inside job.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had a hunch from the first. I didn't tell you, but I had a feeling the day of the holdup that Hargood knew the fellow who socked us. He started getting nervous as soon as we approached the back of the factory.
Well, why were you asking Mrs. Hargood about the car and the house?
I got a hunch that Hargood must have framed that other lift 6 months ago. It's a cinch he doesn't make much dough on that factory job, and right after the robbery, he buys a new car and moves to a swell house.
Say, that's right. Who do you think is in on it with him?
His brother. His wife mentioned him, you know.
His brother?
Yeah, and some other guy. The guy who tried to decoy you out of the car.
Yes, but...
I know. You thought he was the same guy who blackjacked me. Well, he wasn't. The guy didn't have time to get around to the alley after he socked you. It was done by 2 of them.
Well, who was the other?
I don't know, but I'm looking into this brother of Hargood's. He didn't like it when Hargood bought that fancy car. Well, maybe he had a reason. Adams, well, what did you find out?
I done just like you told me, Wiley, and he nearly threw me out of his office.
Yeah? Well, tell me about it.
Well, I look him up in the city directory, and I find out Hargood's brother is a lawyer. Inquiring around, I find his reputation ain't any too savory. His name's Thurman, James Thurman.
All right, go on.
Well, I put on this old suit of clothes like you told me to, and I went up there, and I told him I was a lunger. Didn't have much time, and I had to get some money to get out west. Told him that I'd forget all about seeing him down behind the industrial ironworks if he'd give me $5,000.
And what did he do?
Well, he called me everything from a blackmailer to a louse, and he told me to get out.
And you got out, huh?
Yeah.
Was that all he said?
Yeah.
He didn't threaten to call the police?
No.
Well, that settles it. He didn't want to call the police for a darn good reason. He knew that he'd have to answer some questions.
Well, what's that?
Homicide alarm. Must be some case for the chief of detectives.
I wonder what it is.
No, tell them. They ring that bell day and night.
Well, can you find out?
Sure, but why are you so interested?
Oh, just a new cop's curiosity, I guess.
Well, just to satisfy your curiosity, I'll find out. Hello, Tim. What's the Dick's alarm on for? Yeah? Where? Where? Holy smoke!
What's up?
What's up? Well, this lawyer we're talking to this afternoon, Hargood's brother, just called the commissioner. 2 Yeags walked into his office and shot it out.
With him?
No, with each other. We're going to follow that investigation. Come on, rookie. All right. Get back out of the way. Get back, you. Come on, Joe. Here's the room. Hello, Chief. We didn't know that you'd be here.
What brings you two patrolmen in here?
Well, we're off duty tonight, Chief. I just wanted to follow this call up.
Well, sit down over there and keep quiet.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Thurman, you say you were seated at your desk.
Yes, I was seated at my desk when the telephone rang. It was my brother.
This man?
No, the other one.
Holy smoke. One of the dead guys is the paymaster Hargood.
And the other one is the guy that socked me.
Go ahead, Mr. Thurman.
Well, my brother said he was in a sort of jam and wanted to see me. I waited about 15 minutes, and then I heard those 2 men quarreling in the hallway outside my door. When they opened the door and came in, this dark man jerked out a gun and shot my brother through the head and once through the body. My brother pulled his gun and shot the other man through the head as he fell. One of the bullets hit the light switch and shorted out the lights. The room was pitch dark, but I crawled across to the telephone and dialed your home.
I see. You knew my number?
Yes, I've called you before, you remember.
Well, I guess that's that. What's the matter, Wiley?
Nothing, Chief, except that this guy is the biggest liar I ever heard.
What?
Why, who is this man, Chief?
Wiley, on our radio patrol. What makes you say that, Wiley?
Because he is, sir. A liar and a murderer.
Why, you low-down, dirty... You can't say that about me.
What's more, he's a payroll robber, and he killed those guys to keep them quiet.
That's a lie.
What do you mean?
This guy and his brother Hargood there on the floor engineered the whole thing with the help of the other guy laying there.
I demand that this officer be arrested for making false charges.
Now, wait a minute. Go ahead, Wiley.
Well, sir, I had a hunch that Hargood recognized the guy who robbed us. I also found out that Hargood spent a lot of money right after the first holdup 6 months ago. He immediately bought a new car and moved into a new house.
Where'd you get that?
From Mrs. Hargood. She also told us that Hargood's brother, this man here who calls himself Thurman, didn't like the sudden display of wealth. Well, I sent Adams around to make a pretense of blackmailing Thurman, and this guy just threw him out instead of calling the police like any innocent citizen would have done.
That's right, Chief.
I know, but where do you get the idea that Thurman here killed his brother and this other man?
By his own story, sir, and the man on the floor.
What do you mean?
Thurman says this man jerked out a revolver and shot Hargood twice, once through the head and once through the heart. 2 instantly fatal wounds. He also tries to tell us that Hargood, fatally hit in 2 places, was still able to pull out his gun and shoot the other man through the head. That's not possible, sir.
Look out! Stop him! He's heading for that window. Get him, Adam! Oh, great Scott. A 10-story jump. Good Lord.
Yeah? He knew he was caught dead to rights. Well, sir, that saves the state the expense of a trial.
Police headquarters. All right, Chief. Hello, Tim. Send an ambulance to the Fletcher building on a trip to the morgue. Police headquarters. Police headquarters. Just a minute. I'll connect you with homicide.
Homicide detail, Captain Harris.
This is Lawrence French, manager of the Melody Theater. I wish you'd hurry right over here.
What's wrong, Mr. French?
Well, we're not sure yet. Looks like a murder.
Who is it?
One of our performers, a girl. I wish you'd hurry right over here and see what you can make of it.
All right, I will.
And, Captain.
Yeah?
Come to the stage door with as little noise as possible. The show's still on, and we want to avoid any excitement.
All right, sir. Oh, Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Weaver.
Yes, sir.
You two men get your things. Flashlight, powder, camera. And Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Get a fingerprint outfit and meet me in front.
Yes, sir. Where to, Captain?
To the Melody Theater.
Okay.
Somebody has a nice little show all arranged for us. Yeah, try to cut in on this alley without attracting any attention, Weaver.
All right, Captain.
Yeah, that's good. Now, turn into the stage entrance here. All right. Now, come on. Don't make any noise. Watch these steps. Here, take this camera, Murphy.
Are you the officers?
Yes. Where's Mr. French?
He's expecting you up front there in the dressing room.
Oh, good. Anybody gone out by this door since he called us?
No, sir. I've been on this door every minute.
Yeah, all right, Pop. You stay on this door. If anyone tries to leave, call me or one of the boys here.
You bet I will, sir.
Come on, boys.
Now, watch these ropes, Pap. You don't want to knock anything down. Yeah, pretty swell joint, ain't it?
Yeah, all these lights blind me, though.
Yeah, here we are. Hey, where's
You're the officers from headquarters?
Yeah.
In this dressing room right here. She's lying right over there.
Stabbed in the back. Anything been moved?
No, sir. I saw to that.
Who's this fella?
He was caught trying to slip out. His name is, Prince.
What's your full name?
Tom Prince.
Know this girl?
Yes. Yes, I know. I've been quite friendly with her, but I didn't do it. Do you hear? I didn't do it.
Well, who says you did?
This man here, French.
Yeah, what about it, Mr. French?
Well, the call boy tried to get this girl to answer for her second number, but there was no response. He opened the door and saw her lying on the floor with that knife in her back. He immediately called me.
Yeah, wait a minute. Who is this girl?
Her name is Marsh. Helen Marsh. She works in a knife-throwing act. It's a number 2 spot right now. She's supposed to make a quick change and stand in on an Oriental number.
Did she go through her knife act tonight?
Yes.
And when the call boy called her for the Oriental number, she was dead, huh?
That's right.
How much time is consumed between the knife act and the Oriental number?
Oh, about 10 minutes.
And she could have been killed at any time during that 10 minutes, huh?
That's right.
Well, where does this man fit in?
Mr. Prince has been one of Miss Marsh's admirers. He went with her quite steadily, I believe. Earlier this evening, they had some words, and Miss Marsh told him to leave.
How'd you find that out?
Well, from the other actors. It's common knowledge. Backstage gossip, you know.
I see. Now, what's your story, Prince?
What he told you is true. I did go with Helen, Miss Marsh. I've gone with her for a month or so, nearly every evening. Well, earlier tonight, my brother told me that she'd come to him demanding money or she'd involve me in a scandal of some sort. I didn't believe him, and we both came to the theater before the show tonight to see her.
I see. Your brother came with you?
Yes, he made Miss Marsh admit she was only trying to work me for some money, and we both left just as Jose came in.
Jose? Who's he?
Jose Gonzalez, her partner in the knife-throwing act.
Oh. Well, where did you and your brother go after leaving here?
I had some passes, so we took in the show. He's still out there, I guess.
You were seeing the show with him?
Yes.
Then how did we find you back here, with Mr. French telling us that you were caught trying to leave?
Well, during the show, I got to thinking that maybe Helen had some reason for saying what she did. So I came back through an exit door to give her another chance to explain. I told my brother I was going out for a smoke.
I see. And your brother is still sitting out in front?
Yes, unless he got tired of waiting for me and left.
Yeah, we'll find out about that. Well, what did you see when you came back here?
Well, I knew Miss March was in her dressing room between acts, so I knocked on the door and walked in.
Yeah, and then?
Helen Marsh was lying just as you see her now, with that knife sticking out of her back.
What did you do?
I closed the door and tried to get back to the theater, but Mr. French caught me.
Yes, the call boy had already notified me.
I see. Well, Mr. French, there's only one thing to do. That is to empty the house, see if this man's brother is in the audience, and bring him back here. Also, I want to see this Jose Gonzalez. If I'm not mistaken, that knife that's sticking in her back looks very much like one he'd used.
As you say, Captain, but can't you wait until later, say after the last show, to make your investigation?
I'm sorry, but we'll do it my way. Dismiss the audience and see if this other Mr. Prince is in the theater, and tell all the performers to remain in their dressing rooms until I see them.
As you wish.
I'm sorry to have to do this, Mr. French, but murder is a serious matter.
I understand. I'll inform the audience right after this number.
All right. Now, don't frighten them. Just make some excuse, refund if necessary. That's up to you.
I'll handle it.
Yeah, get those pictures now, Weaver. Well, I'm sorry, buddy, but you'll have to stick around. Looks like you're in a spot.
Well, I didn't do it, I tell you. I didn't do it.
We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We are forced to ask your indulgence in view of a tragedy which has just happened backstage. The remainder of tonight's performance will be canceled. There's no reason for excitement. Those of you who wish may get the price of their seats refunded at the box office. If a Mr. Prince is in the house, brother of Mr. Tom Prince, he is wanted backstage. A little music, please, Temple.
You say you never saw this knife before?
No, it is painted like the rest of my knives. But this one is not like the rest. It does not have the balance.
And as these other actors say, you were downstairs playing poker from immediately after your act until now, huh?
Yes, I did not know of this until I am told.
All right, you can go. Dismiss the rest of the cast, too, French. I'm through with them.
Yes, Captain.
Oh, see who it is.
Where's my brother? What has happened to my brother?
Now, wait a minute. Who said anything had happened to your brother?
Well, it was announced that there had been a tragedy backstage. My brother has not returned to his seat.
Oh, you're Tom Prince's brother?
Yes, I am Dr. Prince.
Did you know that your brother was coming backstage?
No. He told me he was going out for a smoke. Where is he? What's happened to him?
Nothing has happened to him. He's right in the next room. But Dr. Prince, it looks very much like your brother is in a jam.
Jam? What sort of a jam?
Helen Marsh was found dead in the next room.
Dead?
Yes. And we suspect your brother of the murder.
It's impossible. Ridiculous.
Nevertheless, it looks bad for him. Mr. French here found him trying to sneak out.
Who is Mr. French?
This gentleman in the tuxedo. He's the manager of the theater.
Oh. May I see my brother?
Yeah, sure. Get him, Weaver.
Yes, sir. John, I'm glad you're here. They've got me in an awful mess.
Now, brace up, John. I want you to answer just one question. Did you kill Helen Marsh?
Oh, no, for heaven's sake. No, don't you believe me either?
Yes, Tom, I believe you.
Well, I'm sorry, Dr. Prince, but I don't. I'll have to take him down for questioning.
May I see the body? I'm a physician, you know.
I guess it'll be all right. In here. There.
Stabbed.
Yeah.
What's more, she was stabbed while facing her killer.
How do you know that?
By the position of the knife. It was driven into her body by a left-handed man who reached over her right shoulder and drove the knife home. My brother is right-handed.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't prove anything.
It is a point, though. You mind if I turn the body over?
No, I guess not. We have all our pictures.
All right, give me a hand here. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. She was a good-looking woman, wasn't she?
Yes, but terribly unscrupulous. I'm rather inclined to agree with Schopenhauer that women are an unscrupulous race.
Schopenhauer? Well, who's he?
Oh, you probably wouldn't know him. He's an old philosopher.
Like Napoleon, huh?
Well, hardly. Look at this.
What'd you find, Doctor?
I don't know exactly. Look at this little round bruise in the center of her forehead, about the size of a pea.
Birthmark, maybe.
Not this. There's coagulation of blood here. It's a bruise.
Oh, from what? Her fall?
No.
What caused it, then?
I'm just trying to decide. Now, let me see. Captain, how does this sound? Does it sound reasonable to you? When Helen Marsh started playing around with my brother with the obvious intention of getting all the money she could, she invoked the displeasure of someone else.
Yeah, but...
Now, that someone had spent a lot of money on this Marsh girl, done a lot for her. And when he found out that her game was making suckers out of men like my brother, he resented it even more than my brother did.
Well, it's a cinch that whoever killed her must not have liked her very much.
Now, granted. Now, this man finds out what sort of a woman she is, and he gets very angry. He plans to kill her and throw suspicion on Jose, the knife thrower, by using a gilded knife, like the one in the act.
Well, maybe.
Now, the killer sneaked back here and between acts entered the room. He embraced her with his left arm over her right shoulder, and with her face pressed firmly to his chest to suppress a scream, he drove the knife into her body and fled.
Oh, sounds okay.
The murderer left one little clue, Captain.
Yeah, what was that?
The small bruise on Helen Marsh's forehead. Captain, how tall is this Marsh girl?
5'1" or 2.
Nearer 5 even, I'd say. And how tall is one of us men? Say, French over here.
About 6 feet.
Then Helen Marsh, standing up and facing one of us, would stand with the top of her head just under our chin?
Yeah, but...
Captain, that mark on Helen Marsh's forehead was made by just one thing. A stud, a tuxedo stud on the front of a man's shirt, such as French is wearing. And, Captain...
What the...
There, on French's shirt front are the marks of Helen Marsh's lips, where he pressed a rouged mouth close to his body to keep her from screaming. There's your murderer, the theater manager.
Police headquarters. All right, Captain. Hello, Tim. Send a car to the Melody Theater. The manager's just confessed to murder. Police headquarters.